Guys, my camera setup is all wonky. Get your life together, Heather. Hey everybody, welcome back. And today we are going to be talking about my favorite cheek products of 2016. So bronzers, contour products, highlighters, and blushes. So yeah, so let's jump right into it. All right guys, we're just gonna work from how I apply them to my face. So let's talk about some contouring products. So the first one I wanna talk about is just an old favorite. I absolutely love it. I shouldn't even use this product because I'm totally wearing all the packaging off of it. This was from the Maleficent collection, but this is the MAC Sculpting Powder in Sculpt. I love it. It is kind of my baseline for all contouring products. It just works so well for me. One of my favorites. Highly recommend it. You can buy it in the pan where it's going to be a lot less expensive. And I just want to say, I know my contour products for fair skin is like my most popular video on my channel. I'm going to be doing an updated version of that very shortly because I feel like 2016 was the year of drugstore contour products and there's so many great options. I've used a ton of them. I have a ton of them, so I thought I would update that video, and you know, I'll probably still include some of the ones I talked about, but we're just going to expand, so look for that video coming up. The next product I want to talk about is one of those love-hate products. I use this like crazy. This is the NYX Cheek Contour Duo in Double Date. This is $8. I love the packaging on it. It's really super cute, but it's one of those packagings where it's like but it's one of those products where you feel like this is just like the highlight side is completely just unnecessary. It's chalky, it's powdery, it's not flattering on the skin. I do not use this side at all, but the contour shade, you guys have seen me use a absolute just crap ton. It's beautiful, it blends out gorgeously, it is just the perfect balance of warm and cool for me. I love this. I have been reaching for this a crap ton. If you have been watching my 31 days of tutorials, I wish that NYX would like just get rid of the highlighting product in here and just do just a full, you know, contouring product. But I know this product's weird. Not all of them have highlights. Like some have highlights and blushes, some have blushes and contour, some have highlights and contours, but this is the one I picked up and I love the contour in here and I will use the crap out of it still. Another product that you guys have heard me bitch about so many times, and I'm sorry, but the contouring product in here is so good. Actually, the highlight as well. This is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Contour Palette in Light. I love the product in here. I use it all the time. I hate this packaging. I hate this packaging. L'Oreal, if you're listening to my very insignificant channel in your mind, really put one pan of highlighter, one pan of contour, get rid of that stupid brush that nobody uses, and you would sell the crap out of this because the product is so good. It's soft, it's blendable, it's one of those like true contouring products. It is so just gorgeous and subtle. If you're somebody that just loves a very subtle, cool, beautifully blendable contour, this is such a good product. You just have to prepare yourself for the fact that it's going to be a pain in the ass to work out how to get a brush in there, but it's so good. I love the actual product in there. I just hate the packaging, but I love the product so much that I am willing to deal with the packaging to use the product. Not hard to please at all, guys. I'm so whiny. All right guys, the next product I want to talk about is the City Color Contour Effects on the Go palette. I paid $5 for mine at Five Below, which is where I would suggest looking for it because I think it's definitely more expensive on their website. I love this. I don't use these warmer colors as much, but these two, and I don't use the highlighters as much because they're extremely intense. Like the intensity is like, they're really pretty, but on dry skin they might be a little bit too intense, but this is one of the most perfect contour shades. It is extremely cool. It's again pigmented, it's blendable, it's gorgeous. I love it. I use this on brides. I use this in my kit because it works so well. It's so good. Amazing product. Now I will say, if you're somebody that you know you're going to use either more of the warm tones or more of the cool tones, get either the City Effects or the City Color Contour Effects Palette 1 or Palette 2, because what you do is you get bigger pans of just either the top row or the bottom row, so you're just getting more product of the product that you're actually going to use. But when I run out of that contour shade, I am definitely going to be buying the City Effects Contour Palette 2. Is my lighting weird? Sorry, the sun's finally deciding to come out and it's coming through my window, so if the lighting's weird, I apologize. To replace that, because that contouring shade is one of my favorites. I had to force myself to put this down and use other things because I would not leave this palette alone. All right, let's talk about some bronzers. So the first one I want to talk about, and this was kind of my summer bronzer, and again, this is limited edition, guys. I can't help it. I'm always going to talk about limited edition products because people have them in their collection, and if you have them, you might as well use them. And if I have them, I might as well use them and talk about them. And you know, it was actually a favorite this year. This is one of my favorite bronzers, just period. And this is the MAC Extra Dimension bronzer in Aphrodite shell. This was from the Aquatic collection from a couple of years ago. It is an absolutely gorgeous bronzer. It is a little bit more on the warm side, and it's got some shimmer in it. Well, it doesn't have shimmer in it. It's got a beautiful sheen to it. So it's just one of those bronzers that I love to use during the summertime. It just warms up my skin beautifully without having chunky glitter in it. I misspoke saying that it had shimmer in it, because it does not. It just has a beautiful sheen to it. It's a beautiful formula. I feel like MAC's Extra Dimension formula is just a beautiful formula. It's gorgeous. Love it. Easy to use. Even on my pale skin, I don't feel like it is gonna turn me into an big orange blob. And I love the packaging on it. It's just one of those products that's just beautiful, and it makes me happy to use. The next product I want to talk about is actually what I'm wearing today, and it is the Physicians Formula Super BB Insta Ready bronzer. I love this bronzer. This is not going to be a bronzer that is for everybody. If you are fair skinned and a very pale like I am, I just dropped the brush. This is going to be a great bronzer. If you're any deeper than I am, you're not gonna like this bronzer because it's not gonna show up. But the reason why I like this bronzer is what I'll do is I'll blend it in like I did today with my contour. But yeah, so what I'll do is, just because it's so light and it's got that nice warmth to it, is I'll use it to blend out my contour, so I don't get too pale, too washed out, too gray looking. It just adds some beautiful warmth to my face. And plus it just has a gorgeous kind of airbrush finish to it. It's just one of those beautiful, lovely powders that Physicians Formula does so well. My one complaint with Physicians Formula is I wish they would expand their shade range, because not everybody is a ghost. So make some more colors. And I've got to say the same thing for the next one. I have this in light bronze, but from what I've seen and heard, the bronzer shade is not that much darker. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. Again, another product that I picked up really early in the year and immediately fell in love with. This is another product that is super hyped on YouTube for a very, very good reason. It is gorgeous. Again, the packaging's gorgeous. Again, who doesn't love the packaging? The smell is amazing. It smells like a beach, but the actual product in here is just so good. It's not shimmery. It's not matte. It's just, it adds a beautiful warmth and natural sheen to your skin that I can't even explain. It goes on like butter bronzer, but it really does. It's just a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous product. If you are, again, if you are a fair-skinned individual, I am sorry to my deeper-skinned people. Like I said, this is my one problem with Physicians Formula, is their shade range. It's just so good. It's so good, and it just is gonna give a beautiful, again, airbrushed finish texture to the skin. One of those products that is hyped up with good reason. I would totally give this the Abby Loves Makeup stamp of approval. All right, guys, let's move on to some blushes. And there, you know, I am a blush whore. I'm not gonna, you know, I own that. But there are some that have just really, really stuck out in my mind this year that I just get excited to wear, and I absolutely love, and I just keep going back to them. And the first one is from CoverGirl, and this is the CoverGirl True Blend Blush in medium. Now, I love every one in this line. I have all three of them. I think they're beautiful. But this is just the one that stands out to me. It is that beautiful kind of subtle, dusty, rosy color. The texture of these, you know, a lot of times you look at a baked product and you're like, oh, it's gonna be dry, it's gonna feel gritty. This feels so smooth and gorgeous, and the way it blends out on the skin, it gives it the most natural, gorgeous, flushed sheen to the skin. Absolutely a stunning product. I can't say enough about these. I think these are unbelievable and just one of the best new products I picked up in 2016. Another product I want to talk about that I absolutely love that nobody talks about that's from CoverGirl is one of the Instant Cheekbones. I have three of them. They're like 4 shades, but I have 3, and this is in the shade Sophisticated Sable. Yeah, Sophisticated Sable. I love this. This is one of those all-in-one products that you can travel with, and it's without a contour and without a, you know, a designated highlight, you're gonna get that contoured cheek look because it gives such a beautiful ombre finish to the skin. So, you know, I just use these. I'll put the deepest shade right above where I would put my contour, just not where I put my contour, but maybe right above at the base of my cheekbone. I'll put the blush all over the apples of my cheeks, and I will put the highlighter right on top, and it just gives the most beautiful effect to the skin. And it's just, I'm just gonna put these, kind of layer these like I would do on my skin, and I don't know if you can see that. It's so beautiful, it's so subtle, it's gorgeous. The textures of the powders are beautiful. I would say they're very, very comparable to the True Blend blushes. These are like $5, and I think they are one of the most underrated products in the drugstore. The highlighters in these are absolutely stunning. If CoverGirl came out with those highlighters individually, they would be making some money because they are so beautiful, blend out beautifully. If you have not tried these out, again, it's another one of those products. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. If you haven't tried these out and you're interested in this product, or you're kind of on the fence about it, get it. I highly recommend it. I think it's so beautiful. Again, I think the only problem is that getting your brush into each individual pan, but I manage it just fine, and I'm getting some serious dents and grooves on some of these. I don't know if you can tell. Another blush that I have been absolutely loving this year is from Urban Decay, and this is in the shade Fetish. I bought one of these blushes when they went on sale for their 21 Days of Beauty, just because I didn't know if I wanted to spend that much money on a blush, but I got it and I love it. I'm wearing this blush in combination with another blush today, and it's just beautiful. Again, it's one of those dusty rose blushes that is just neutral and gorgeous. It's got a gorgeous texture to it. It blends out beautifully on the cheek. I mean, it's just a stunning product. It makes me want to buy more of these, but I'm really gonna have to look at the colors and see what I want, because I don't want to just buy them because I like this one. I want to get some colors that I know I'm really gonna get some use out of, like I have with this one. And finally, I want to talk about this palette. This is the Becca Blushed with Light palette. I love this palette. I love Becca blushes, but I find that they're just so ridiculously expensive. And I'm not saying they're not worth the money. It's just expensive. It's an investment. And I like this one because they give you a formula. They give you the luminous, one of the luminous blushes. They give you one of the mineral blushes, and they give you a blush that is exclusive to this palette. And I think the shade range is absolutely stunning. So you get Snapdragon, which is more of like a kind of an orgasm-y type blush. It's that kind of peachy pink with a gold sheen to it. Then you get Songbird, which is a more neutrally kind of orangey blush. I'm doing these so backwards. So Snapdragon, Songbird, and then they have one that is exclusive to this palette called Wisteria. So you get Wisteria, Songbird, and Snapdragon. I think it's such a great array of colors. You're getting a lot of variety. They work beautifully together, so if you want to mix and match, it's not an issue. I really hope they make Wisteria permanent, because it's one of my favorite blush products of the year, not just in this palette, but just overall. And I mean, the texture, the formula, the quality is beautiful. And I think in this palette for $34, you got about the same amount of product as you got for 2 of their blushes. So their blushes are almost like, what, they're like 38 and 42, I can't remember. A ridiculous amount of money. So, but instead of spending between $70 and $80 for 2 blushes, you're spending $34 for a variety. And I think this was just one of the best deals. I'm not sure if this is still available on Ulta's website. If it is, I will link it down below, because I think this is an incredible value. Becca's one of those brands that I love trying their products, but I have to get them when they're on sale or on a deal, because it's expensive. It's so expensive. Okay guys, sorry, I had to get my life together. I didn't realize my camera was like tilting to the side. All right, and finally, let's talk about some highlighters. So one highlighter I really want to talk about, and I love this highlighter. I know some people don't really like this highlighter, and it's one that's not really talked about, but it's just one that I found in the later part of the year, and I love. This is the Soap & Glory Glow All Out Super Luminizing Highlighting Powder, and I love it. When I first saw it, I was like, oh, that's gonna be a little deep for a highlighter for me. It's gonna be probably more of a blush. But when you put it on the skin, I don't even know if you can see it because it's so subtle. It has the most beautiful, soft, pinky glow to it with almost a blue turn when that light hits it. And it just, again, it's one of those products that I feel like put it on my skin and it just evens out my skin and gives me such a beautiful soft airbrush finish that I really, really am enjoying this product. I want to try more of their blushes and powder products in general because I think this one is just phenomenal. It really, really stood out to me this year. Another product that I absolutely love that I could not stop using at the beginning of the year definitely is the e.l.f. Illuminating Powder Palette. Now I kind of use this as a multi-purpose palette. I use this in just kind of switched out with the ambient lighting powder palette that I have. I would use kind of this one as a bronzer. I would use this one as a highlighter, and then I would use this one and this one as setting powder all over my face. And it just was beautiful. These are definitely highlighters and illuminators if you like a more subtle look. If you're somebody who wants a super like in your face shimmer glow, these are not going to be for you. But if you're somebody like who enjoys a more subtle sheen every now and then, this is such a great $6 product. I absolutely love this. Obviously, it's janky as you know what. And speaking of the ambient lighting powder palette, I mean, let's talk about it. You guys saw me use this almost every single day in my 31 days of tutorials. It's looking pretty rough right now. I am gonna have to repurchase this one. I love this. I think it's so beautiful. I think nothing as far as a finishing powder or highlighter or what setting powders, whatever you want to use this for. I put this in the highlighting category because they are illuminating. Nothing is going to do what this does as far as my experience. I'm not saying there aren't products out there that don't do the same thing, but this, from my experience and what I've tried, this gives the most beautiful, blended out, gorgeous, just soft focus to the face that if you're somebody who has large pores or texture, or you know, you're just a little bit more on the mature side like I am, this is such a beautiful product. I use this as a finishing powder every single day. I just generally mix all three together. This is a product that I will be repurchasing once I'm done with it, and I think it is absolutely worth every single penny I spent for it, and just a gorgeous product. All right, and guys, you knew this was coming. This is my favorite highlighting product of the year, probably one of my all-time favorite products of the year. This is the Profusion Highlight or Pro Highlight Case. Guys, this is beat to hell. I love this. I love the powders in here. When you are going for a bam in your face highlight, I mean, just, it does, I don't know. I don't even know. This is so pretty. I compared these in a high-low video to the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfectors in the effect, not necessarily the texture, but in the effect they give the skin. They don't look like much until you get them on your face, and they just are the most beautiful, glowy highlighters I have found this year. I love them. Love, love, love. It's something I will be repurchasing. I don't use golden beige that much, but it is a really pretty color. I mean, they're just gorgeous and soft and beautiful and blend out beautifully. This is one of the best $10 products, in my opinion, that you could buy. It is so good. All right, guys, so those are my favorite cheek products of the year. So bronzers, contours, blushes, and highlighters. I hope this was fun for you guys to see what I've really been loving. You know, again, let me know what your thoughts are down below. Let me know what you think of the products I talked about, and let me know your favorites because I love hearing your suggestions. But guys, thank you as always for hanging out and talking about makeup with me. I hope you guys have an amazing day. Have a rockin' week, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.